the other function that we should check is whether the Serilog that we implemented is working or not. It was supposed to write the log file into the logs folder. There is our log file, and from the size I can see that the logs are being written. There are the logs. So these are the logs that was written by the Serilog. That's it. Now we are going to write some other functionalities in our to-do controller. The first one will be the add to do. That is going to be a post function. Its route will be add to do. So it is going to be a public function. HTTP response message add to do, and then this will be to do view model. Let's bring in the namespace control period. Now let's see if the model state is valid and the data that we are being provided has data in real, then only we are going to add it into the database. Else we'll be returning an error. Return request dot create response HTTP status code bad request. Let's put a try catch block here. We will send the error message itself, though it might not be a good idea to send the error message, the entire error message to the user, but that is what we are doing it here. Let us add the to do. First let's log the request. To do logger control period dot to do logger instance dot logger dot information. Now first let's get the project, default project for that user. Repo dot get projects by user. We do not have default project method, so let's first write a default project method. Let's go to our solution explorer. Let's go to repository. Project user email. Now let's go here. We'll be getting an error. Let's implement the interface. So let's go to get default project by user. Var project equals to ctx.projects.where p such that p dot user dot email equals to usr email and p dot title equals to main. So this is the default project of the user. Select first or default. Return project. Or instead of doing this, I could have done it this way. it will also return the same result. So let's save it. Now let's go to our to do controller. To do controller, here we are. Our project equals to report dot get default project by user, where user email will be user dot identity dot name. And now we are going to create the to do equals to new to do. So let's bring in the namespace. The title would be to do the title, then description equals to do dot description, to do priority equals to do dot priority, target date equals to do dot target date, to target time equals to do dot target time, created date equals to date time dot now. Then we have to do project equals to project. So for the time being, we are writing or adding every to do to the default project of that particular user, and I don't think I have missed any field. I'm making an assumption that the to do completed to do won't be added, so completed date equals to null. And now let's add this to do to our repository dot add if report dot save all let's return the response message. Now if we couldn't save, let's return a response. Status code bad request. So that would be our add to do function. So let us now use the postman again, add the to do. Let's go to postman. and now let's post it. Add to do. So let me put a breakpoint here. First run it. Okay, there we are. The model state is false. Let's have a look. This is a test to do. The to do priority is high. This is the default value because we have not specified it. This is 8 a.m. It looks correct to me, but let's look at the model state. Required property to do ID not found in json.path. But to do ID is not expected here, so let me fix that. Okay, the to do ID here is a required field. This is just a view model. Here we do not need any annotations. Okay, there we are. Now the model state is valid. The data is good as well. Data looks good. Now let's run it. Let us write some other functions to retrieve different kind of to-do data. Control K, Control D to format it properly. Let's write the function to get the data. Get route, get to do's. First let's log the request. Let me copy. Let me also log the error. To do logger dot to do logger instance dot logger dot error. Now let's add another log. get to dos by user dot identity dot name. Sorry for that. Return request dot create response http status code dot ok results. Now let's test this retrieval function. So we have got an error. Let's fix that first. Okay, get to dos is already defined. Let's get rid of this. Let's run it. I hope we won't get any errors this time. So the build is successful. Let's look into the database. So we have this test to do. Let's go to Postman. Now let's do a get. It will be get to dos. Let's place a breakpoint here. Okay, we have just hit the breakpoint. Let's continue it. Let's see if we get the data. Okay, there we are. We have the data that is retrieved from our database. Now let's complete the to-do controller. So let me copy this thing here. So here the call will now be dot get overdue to do by user. So it will be user dot identity dot name. So there, now let's write the function to get the completed to dos. Let me copy this same thing. Get completed to do. This will now we get completed to dos by user. So it is user dot identity dot name. So that is it. Now there will be an option for the users to mark the to do as completed. So here we need to have the to do ID. Rather than passing it as an integer, let's get it as an object. Int td equals to 0 if int dot try parse to do id out td. If that is successful, td set to do status td as to do status dot completed to do equals to do dot get to do with id td. This is a to do view model. Return request dot create response http dot ok to do. Else will give bad request. Let us add a log event logger for that. Let me put a try catch block. So mark complete. Then we will have a function to add the comments for the to do. So let's write that function as well. That will be a post. Add notes public http response message add notes. So notes view model I think it is marked as comment. Let me rename it as note. Note view model, and that will be a note. So it will be more or less similar to this one. So let me copy it. So instead of this, we will have to do equals to dot get to do with id. So here it will be note dot to do id dot to do id, but then this get to do with id will return a to do view model, not a to do. So we will have to do something about it. So let's do mapper dot so now we have to get the to do for the comment. So let's get the to do. So we have a to do view model tdvm equals to repo dot it is underscore repo dot get to do with id, and the to do id node dot to do id. Now we have to create a new note. So let's do that. If tdvm not equals to null, control v. If it is null, request dot create response http status code dot bad request tdvm control period using automapper dot map. We need to map it to the note from note equals to nt dot to do equals to ppr mapper dot map to ddvm return request dot create response http status code dot created and we'll be returning the note. So the else condition will be met by this, and that is our add notes function. I have an error here. This is the wrong one. Let me get rid of this control L. This seems to be unnecessary closing brace, so control L again. That is it. It seems that I have completed the adding of the required functionalities into the to-do controller. Get over new to-do, get completed to-do, add to-do, mark complete, add notes, get projects. That is it. So let me run it again. The build has succeeded. Let me go to Postman again and let me add a new to-do. So we get here, it is created. Now let us look into the database. To do, so table data, let me refresh it. Okay, there we are. We have two to-dos, test to do and another test to do. There is the target date and target time, created date, created time, status. So that is all done. Now we should focus on the client side programming, where we will be using AngularJS.